Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, President, Founder of GST Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. But today we're talking about Choicely, and we're talking about startup hacks for building a unicorn. And today we're diving into the most fascinating, transformative topics in technology, the end of traditional coding. We're joined by someone who's not only a friend of mine, but one of our companies within GSD. Kauis Meskanen is the CEO of Choicely. He leads a global team delivering a powerful no-code mobile app platform trusted by iconic brands like Love Island, Miss Universe, Italia's Got Talent, Arsenal, the Italian Cycling Federation, Eurovision, etc. But his passion doesn't stop there. Kauis also supports LeoBlocks, an AI-powered learning platform designed to accelerate learning, extend intelligence, and amplify creativity, helping the next generation harness the power of AI to build a smarter future. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Before all of this, Kauis served in the Finnish Special Forces, speaks 9 languages, had visited 79 countries, and even won a UNESCO songwriting competition. Talk about a life that bridges creativity, technology, and adventure. It's a real pleasure to have my friend on board today. Hi, Kauis.
Hi, Gary. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about it. So, how do you go from, first of all, how did you learn 9 languages?
Well, I'm born in Finland. It's quite typical that you finish high school with 4 languages, which are Finnish, Swedish, English, and your parents choose one from German, French, or Spanish. My parents chose German for me. And then afterwards, I just learned more languages in university, just out of interest. I learned quickly.
So, how did you go down through? So, the Finnish Special Forces. Do you ever leave the Special Forces, or are you always in?
Uh, okay, so we have a long border with Russia, and their politics are sometimes aggressive towards Europe. So Finland's strategy is that all the men have to go to army. There are roughly 5.5 million people in Finland, so about 30,000 guys are born every year, and they go to army. So I applied to a special unit for parachuting and kind of uh, cool stuff in general. I had to train for many years because they have very hard tests. So at the age of 18, I got in. And yeah, I think it was a good life experience. It kind of teaches you survival skills and all that.
No, that's great. Kauis, before we dive into AI and automation, how did your early experience in tech shape the way you see today's developer revolution?
My early days in tech, I was like 6 years old when I got the first computer because my father, he did his career. He was a nuclear scientist, so he had the latest PCs back at that time. So I started using whatever was available quite early.
Oh, that's great. And so, you've helped build major brands build powerful apps without traditional coding. What was the inspiration behind creating such a platform like Choicely?
So the inspiration was that first of all, I was doing architecture before, and I really wanted to build something, a platform where you can build like a great product, or a platform where you can multiply and rebuild that product many times, which is in complete contrast in architecture, where every project is unique and you can't like multiply designs that way. So we came up with our co-founder Tommy, our CTO. We came up with after quite some conversations that we believe that we can make native mobile apps behave like websites. It was since the early 2000s. It was already quite a norm that you can use WordPress and Wix and Squarespace kind of platforms to build the websites, your company website. But and no one really challenges that anymore. But then still, for some reason, most of the mobile apps are built with the traditional coding, which takes it. So that means that apps cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, take 6 to 9 months to build something proper, and that's the main barrier for especially small companies to even start.
For those that aren't familiar, can you explain how Choice's no code, low code approach, and also let's talk about SDKs and how they're changing what's possible for businesses and creators?
Yeah. So with the approach we built with Choicely, you can build something like not only a prototype, but quite a functional, like real production ready app in one day, in a long day, or let's say if it's very extensive, in a couple of days, and then you can launch it in App Store and Google Play. Now, that is possible because we have a visual editor where anyone without coding skills can really build a native mobile application, a little bit like it would be done in WordPress. But now we recently launched our mobile app SDKs, and that means that developers can start using Choicely in a very clever way. They can basically start, let's say, a new project. They typically use Android Studio for Android and Xcode for iOS. They can drop in the SDK. It's just 10 lines of code. You just drop it in. You get all the Choicely capabilities and the visual editor and all the features and kind of meta features as well in the first 10 minutes. And then you can build your special features on top, and you are production ready and ready to launch your app the very same day. And now we will talk about AI. But when you get this like really strong framework for your applications, it's better for those people who want to then start vibe coding new features. You have like a strong foundation.
Starting to what? Tell the audience about that again. They're starting to do vibe coding.
Vibe coding. So okay, maybe it's a new word, but coding with AI. The new trend word is vibe coding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe it's kind of getting there. But coding with AI, it means many things because you have now tools where you can almost like build platforms, ready-made platforms with AI. They might be the level of how stable they are. It's still varying because everything is changing now so fast. But it's getting there and it's getting better. But you can pretty like coding with AI is quite solid already if you build a specific feature rather than like build me an Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go more specific, then it's already quite useful.
So, Kauis, there's a bold claim floating around: AI will make traditional coding obsolete. Do you agree, or do you think coding will simply evolve?
I think on a high level, give it some time. I think it will partly be true. So a lot of things that need coding won't need coding anymore. But then I think there will be a lot of space for developers. I don't think that's going away at all. I think what they can do per hour per day will multiply because of they can already use so many sophisticated vibe coding, so AI assisted coding tools.
Do you think there'll be more or less developers?
Well, there are millions. Like right now, there are like 3 million iOS, 3 million Android coders, then another 2 million for Flutter, 10, 20 million for React Native. That's just when you Google, will it be more or less? I think at least in the short term, let's say 5 years from now, I would say the similar amount. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting because, like, here in the Valley, there's layoffs taking place, and yet they're hiring sometimes for $100 million packages, folks with AI, deep AI backgrounds. It's kind of interesting interesting. In fact, I have when I take Ubers here, many times I'll have engineers that had been doing like QA and things that are out of work because the AI is taking over, and so it
Yeah,
seems like there's a big shift taking place.
yeah, you're right. I think it kind of starts from from the level, like the kind of junior level where you need less sophisticated coding skills because of the AI is getting better. Then there's more and more automation, and more complex tasks become like easy for the AI. But then, like for example, today, if we would think of building a new feature and releasing it, we would probably use AI or maximize the use of AI in kind of building the new feature, but we would have senior developers go through the code many times and also do automatic and manual testing before we would release it to like general public. So that's today, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's changing. You can feel it
yeah,
out here. And
yeah.
how do you think? So let's talk about how do you think AI's already transforming software development behind the scenes? What is it doing? Beyond tools like GitHub, Copilot, or ChatGPT, what do you think's actually happening? What's the process like?
I think the new norm, or at least with us, I think it should be with anyone who is, wants to be modern and up to date. I think the new norm is that you can start new like coding tasks with AI because they're already integrated in pretty much all the general coding tools. So you can basically start your task by asking AI to build something for you, and then you can more like review it, and then you can launch it. So something that could take a day could now take 30 minutes, like a typical task, like of that size. And I think for many, it's I if you would write something, an article, let's say 3 pages, maybe you could start by generating something or variations with AI, but you probably would read it personally through and make edits. So coding is more complex, but the thought process is similar.
Caius, many developers worry, as we said it, about that their automation could replace the roles. What would you say to them? And are we heading toward fewer developers or different kinds of developers? Because we talked about it's changing. But what do you think? What would you say to them? So you're looking at them. Would you say do what you're doing, or would you say you got to change? And how should they change?
I think they need to change. It's just the way the world is working now. I think like from an entrepreneur mindset, what is important now, and I'm sure you, Gary, agree that when you have some kind of business goal or idea or new project or new company, you need to get some kind of prototype very quickly, at least for your team, maybe for investors, or maybe like try out, show it to some potential clients. And then you need to be equally fast to get it in the market, some kind of first version. And I think we were talking about these things 5 years ago, but the speed is pretty different now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I mean
And
this was important before, but now we're talking like different speed.
the what kind of skills do you think will define the next generation of software builders in this AI driven world? Because it's changing, like you said, in 5 years. So, what kind of skills are they going to be important? Are they going to be like symphony orchestra conductors, where they're basically manage the thing from the very top level, or are they going to be inside of it trying to build? What do you think? How do you think those skills are going to evolve? And where does Choicely really fit in with it?
Yeah, I think the mindset should be now more flexible than before. I have been working with developers a lot and different developer communities. There are kind of walls. First of all, some developers believe in this code language and the others to this one, and then they may have strong opinions how something should be built. I think I respect that. I think still people need to start thinking more in a more flexible way. I think the end goal is becoming more important to get kind of the prototype and the MVP product that you can already sell. You need to think how to get to that point very fast, and you need to be, I think all developers need to be a little bit more flexible in thinking and kind of try new things and get kind of familiarize themselves with the changing AI field, which is not, it's not easy. There are like new major product launches every day. So
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
it's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah, the tool. I mean, every day there's a new tool, and you're trying to figure it out. And it's a lot better than one before, right?
Yeah.
And so, how do you think? So, let's talk about this. How do you see AI changing collaboration between humans and machines in development teams? How are we going to, co-work together to be able to get things done? How's that relationship going to be? Where's the collaboration going to be? And how does that impact Choicely? Where do you collaborate with those teams?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with the choice leap. So our positioning is clear. A lot of things are happening in tech. Choicely is very good, very well positioned in the place where different companies build software products. The ones who want to actually launch their products in App Store and Google Play, then they need the whole layer of technology around that. And that's where Choicely is strong. So you can build something with any technology, and then you can use Choicely to get your optimized mobile application in App Store and Google Play, and you get the real-time tools for that. I think in general, so the first question, like how do teams and AI and developers and maybe like business decision makers, I think I think there will be like better tools and interfaces for that, because right now people use so many, like they use Slack and the coding tools and WhatsApp chats and a mix of things. But then I think there will be like more comprehensive tools for that. And I think there will be a lot more prototyping, because there is a disconnect when sometimes people plan and think about a new product or a feature, but if you can, someone in the team can already very quickly prototype it, I think almost in the same meeting, then the outcome of that meeting will be many iterations.
Yeah, right. And you get it done right away, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to wait. So, Caius, when you're going down through it, you're blending technology with storytelling and gamification. How do you see AI enhancing creativity rather than stifling it?
I think I know a lot about creativity. I think AI can enhance creativity a lot because it's first of all, it's very helpful in iteration. So you can visualize ideas, prompt something and get pictures and videos about it, which already can start a very rich conversation with you and a couple of team members. Like, okay, this kind of seems good, but the colors are wrong. So you're already kind of getting somewhere. But also creativity, so kind of prototyping, visualizing ideas, and then prototyping them with some kind of software tools. Vibe coding again, I guess it's much faster to prototype something like that. It's really important part of creativity, because you can talk, you can bullet point things and so on, but to get to the next stages of creativity, I think AI can speed it up like 100x.
So, you look at it and, let's talk about LeoBlocks. So LeoBlocks focus on AI-powered learning, helping people accelerate their skills and expand intelligence. What made you decide to get involved in that space? I mean, you've got Choicely on one side and you got LeoBlocks. What made you decide to get into that?
Oh, it's simple. My mother is one of the leading researchers in accelerated learning, and it's something I kind of I was observing for a long time, and then I basically asked her once if she wants to make a digital platform out of it, and then because of she was up for it, then I uh, gathered some people around her to do so.
Do you believe AI can democratize education, make complex fields like coding more accessible to everyone?
Yes, and again, it kind of comes back to the fundamentals that I guess there will be less need for the simple coding tasks in the future,
Hmm.
more need for flexible thinking and senior level coding skills, people who can actually go through the code that any AI tool is generating. Because if you're publishing it to customers, you, you, you want to have control out of the outcome.
How do you see tools like LeoBlocks and Choice working together to bridge the gap between learning and building?
Well, they are quite separate tools. In Choicely, we are very much concentrating in getting making like high quality mobile apps accessible. It's really just there's so much buzz going on, and even the word app is getting mixed. But a native mobile app that's in App Store and Google Play, it's still a thing. There are 5 million apps in App Store and Google Play, and it could be 50 instead of 5. The barriers are still there.
Hmm.
And I think Joycely and maybe some competitors also can make it so much easier that 5 can become 50 at some point. And there's a reason why we're focusing in mobile apps. It's people spend 5 hours a day on their phones, and then 90% of that time in native mobile apps and 10% in the browser. So when you're an entrepreneur, you might want to be in the 90% category where people get more hooked to your product. And when people of any company, when people download a mobile app, they get 400% more engaged. They, let's say you're selling something, they will, because of push notifications and the habits they build, they will visit your your brand more frequently, they will buy more often, and the average purchase size will be higher. It's like general knowledge. You can Google it, but it's so the general need and benefit of the mobile apps. It's there. So there's just much that can be done in that space still.
Do you think we're going to have developers as a distinct profession, or do you think everybody's going to be a creator through AI-powered tools?
It's a good question. I mean, once they evolve.
Look at what you've done with Choicely with the no-code, low-code approach, right, and being able to build, and now SDKs. So, I mean, it's like, you people that didn't have the skills now can build videos, right? People
Mhm.
that can build their apps. So, is it going to change? Do you think it's going to be more? It's going to go from pragmatic to more human-like because you get people that have marketing degrees building it rather than engineering degrees.
Yes, because we noticed that already many years ago, before AI was kind of the main driver of, or main let's say attraction like it is today. and it's so for a reason. ChatGPT and OpenAI kind of started the real products of AI, but even before that, we learned that if the marketing and business teams can use, for example, the visual editor, and they can just change the layouts and the UI of the app and put new content or kind of make changes and tryouts, then the cycle is already so fast that they don't need to explain anything to developers, who would then make changes and updates in App Store and Google Play. So because the cycle would be so long, so when there's no cycle at all, they'll just make in real-time changes. Then they get the benefits. And a lot of things we keep hearing from our customers, that a lot of things that they tried successfully, they would have never even tried if they would have to, make some kind of development projects out of simple changes.
Well, I mean, and the costs are way different too, right? The costs have changed. So, how do you think global access to AI-driven platforms like Choicely, how do you think that's going to affect innovation in emerging markets?
It's a good question too, because you have talent, increasing amount of talent, but less capital in emerging markets. So it creates the opportunity for that talent to kind of jump very far, very fast, with much less resources, to build great products, in days or weeks or a month, using a lot of tools. So I think it's gonna it will democratize the markets a little bit. Of course, the markets with more resources, they have a better chance because they can then fund quickly the platforms and startups that kind of show some promise. But still, I know there's this. It's actually you told me about it the first time, that there's this idea that in Silicon Valley, that who would create the first unicorn as a team of one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, that's a bet. We're going on in the valley right now.
Yeah, you told me about it. So it's related to the question. So in theory, a team of one could do it in an emerging market as well.
Right, exactly. And I'll be in Africa in a couple of weeks, down in Nigeria, and I'm going to be talking about AI and the impact it can have on the continent. And you're right. I mean, it's just it's tools just like Choicely and Leo blocks that are going to be able to change things. Kauis, this has been an incredible conversation. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If AI truly ends traditional coding, what new doors will open for human creativity?
I think it will I believe it will 100x any individual who has a great idea and doesn't have all the skill sets for visual or coding or some of the things that are needed traditionally to build a great product and a business. So I think it will give 100x capability and speed and opportunity for people who just have the patience to build things.
I want to say, so we're wrapping up the show. Thanks, Kauis, for joining us today on our first premiere edition, Startup Hacks for Building a Unicorn. My name is Gary Fowler, host. And for listeners out there that want to learn more, check out choicely.com and also Kauis' other company, LeoBlocks, two platforms redefining how we learn, build, and create in the age of AI. I'm Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. And you've been listening to Startup Hacks for Building a Unicorn. Stay curious, stay bold, and we're building the future together. Let's go out and make this world a little bit better place. Thank you, everybody. Take care and have a wonderful day. Okay, Kauis, that's it on the thing. We're gonna have to on the podcast. We're gonna have to go down through, and we're gonna have to edit a little bit at the end. So this is so I need to do a little bit of editing on this, but that was a great show.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
I'm gonna have to edit this last part after the outro um, a little bit, but everything was great. Good job.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Fun. Thanks. Take care of yourself.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.